All right, so welcome to episode 2 of the Truffles Podcast. Today we're joined with Blxkout.
Yo, what's up, yo?
Blxkout is an up-and-coming artist, and we have a project coming up very soon called Nocturnal. We're going to talk about his upbringing and what are his future plans. So first question I have for you is just tell me a little bit about yourself as well as how you got into making music.
Okay. So y'all already heard him, but my name is Blackout. I live in San Francisco, California now, but I'm originally from Southfield, Michigan. Like that's like Metro Detroit area. I'm like 30 minutes away from Detroit. Um, and I've been in the suburbs my whole life. I don't try to put on like a whole like hood ghetto persona in my music. I try to keep it real, like straight from the jump. Um, But the thing that got me into music, honestly, I have to give like every bit of praise to my dad. Waybo, if you're watching this, I love you. Oh my gosh, my dad is like the biggest inspiration for my music, like since day one. Like literally since before I've been born, he's been producing and making music. So like the thing that really set it in for me was how I would go to school, come home, I just hear him like every single day in the basement just producing, like playing his bass guitar, his synths and all that type of stuff. And after hearing it for literally years, it just got me into it. So when I was like I think maybe 10, I had like a Samsung Android tablet and I downloaded this app called Music Maker Jam on it. And it's like this app with a bunch of pre-made loops that you can just toy around and experiment with. And I was using it for a good ass minute. It was super fun, I remember. And then I ended up finding out about FL Studio Mobile. Got it, spent like 15 or something dollars like on the Google Play Store. Bought it on my tablet, started making beats on there. And then yeah, I was showing like around like beats to my friends around school and everything. My friend named Arrow, he also used to produce and shit. So we like did collaborations every now and then. And then for my 14th birthday was like when it really all started because my dad bought me like FL Studio for the computer on my 14th birthday, and since then it's like the only thing I've been using. So I'm 18 now. So like for the past 4 years, I've been like straight producing. I only started rapping November of 2021, which is when I dropped my first song, Too Flashy. Um, it was on like this body USB mic that was like $40 on Amazon because I didn't have um I don't think I had an audio interface yet or something like that. I didn't have the money to buy like a high quality mic. So I did that. I remember the first when I was recording Too Flashy, I had to like because I would record at night, but if you spoke too loud, it would distort way too hard, and there was no way to fix it. So I had to like whisper, but loudly whisper into the mic. It was so rough, bro. Especially when I had to like sing like the notes and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much like what got me into music. My dad got me into music as a whole. As far as rapping, I'm not gonna lie, I started this shit as a joke. Like I literally like I've been like since 14, my dream has been to be a producer. Like I like the aspect of being the behind the scenes guy because in my opinion, I believe that the producer is what makes the song. You can't have a song without a beat. The producer makes the beat. It's just how it goes in my brain. But I made this little Uzi type beat that I liked a lot, and I was like, you know what, I'm a fuck around and rap on it. Let's see what happens. So I did, and I posted it on my story. A lot of people were swiping up, asking if I was dropping it, if I was like serious, if I was gonna start rapping. I was like, huh, maybe I should take this serious. So I like added a little more to it. Brought my one day because I would also bring my stuff to school to work on like music during school because I was just like one of those kids. It was like in the morning I was like working on Too Flashy. My friend Kevin comes like Kevin's like my biggest supporter. I always joke about it, like talk about how he's my manager and stuff because he gets all my like every single unreleased like everything like every blackout update Kevin gets. So Kevin, if you're watching this, know that I've never switched up with you, bro. I've been real since day one. You've been real since day one. Like he's the only one that I've told about the Nocturnal collection, like that I've given the drop date to. He's the only person. But yeah, I remember I was working on it. He comes in. He was like, "Is that too flashy?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Can I listen?" He was like all giddy and shit. He was so funny. And I was like, "Yeah." He puts the headphones on, starts geeking, falling down the wall. I was like, "There's no way it can be this good." So I dropped the song. After finishing it up, everyone loves it, and I was like, "Huh, okay, maybe I can turn this into a career." So that's pretty much what started my rapping career. A joke of me just wanting to rap on a beat that I liked.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So the next question I had is, how'd you come up with the name Blackout, and what's like the significance?
Honestly, if I'm being 100% transparent, my producer name is Greatness. I never separated myself from it because I will always be greatness to me. Like when I get tattoos, one side's gonna be greatness, one side's gonna be blackout. Um, I came up with the name greatness because I couldn't think of a name that was appropriate enough for my parents to approve of when I was first starting out. So I just stuck with that for a long time. Blackout came along because I was trying to come up with other names, and I was like, the names that I was coming up with were either already taken or just sounded too corny. So I was like, okay, um, let's think of something. I thought of blackout, but instead of spelling it blackout, it's just Blxkout instead of Blackout. If it has significance, so like a blackout happens uh when a lightning bolt hits a storage, not storage, like a power unit or something like that, and it knocks out the power grid, and that's what causes a blackout because there's no electricity flowing. For me, the significance behind my name would be like that kind of a powerful force bringing like hitting another thing, that creating the blackout. But like I'm that powerful force, and like that's what's creating it. So if anything, I feel like if there's a way to like visualize it, imagine the lightning bolt being music, then me being blackout, and then like the power unit being like a microphone. So like the music hitting the mic, the mic is like who I am, and then the fact that the power unit is gone, there's no mic, but I'm still here, which is why I feel like blackout has a significance for me. Three.
How would you describe your style?
Shit. One of those. No,
What?
cause it's always no. It's nothing. It's just like it's a hard question to to answer
Yeah.
because I personally don't feel like I have my own style. Like I don't feel it's hard to describe my style because it encompasses so many other ones. Like the easiest way I can put it, how do I say this? If you were to find an artist on SoundCloud, right, and he has sounds from these other different artists, you would be able to say, oh yeah, he sounds like X, like he sounds like this, or he sounds like X, or he sounds like Young Nudie. When you listen to my music, you can't really pin my sound to a specific artist, which makes it difficult to answer that question. But if I had to describe my style, I'd probably say I describe it as a breath of fresh air, honestly. I feel like the music I make, it could be because I haven't dove deep enough into music, even though I listen to a lot, but I feel like no one else is really doing what I'm doing specifically. Like, I take inspiration from other artists, obviously, but there's always like some type of spin that I put on it. And if I had to describe it, I'd probably say something more like, because I can really do anything, I feel like, but with my current state, probably more not upbeat, but energetic. That's the word I'm looking for. Probably like a really, really energetic feel, energetic, hype, but also like can like possibly mysterious too. Like for Nocturnal, that's kind of the vibe I was going for because of how the brand and the collection is like shown out and everything. I wanted to give it like a mysterious, but also like a hooded figure type of feel. So that's what I was like striking for. But it really depends on like each song. As far as like Blackout as a whole, what his style is, it can't really be encompassed into like one word. But if you go through my like each song, you can definitely figure out like what each style is.
Awesome. So what's your
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's nothing, bro.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Hey.
What's your creative process like?
Um. So first, what I do, uh, I always do the beat first. I usually self-prod, but there are some times where I'll look on YouTube and just write lyrics. I usually use a journal because I used to like write lyrics on my phone, but see, yeah, he's already hip. Journal's the way, I'm telling you. I used to write lyrics on my phone, but it just didn't feel as authentic as taking a pencil and writing it down on paper. Like it makes it feel so much like real, like you can really feel like official. So I'd probably say first I either find or make the beat. And if I'm finding it, then I just go straight from finding it to writing lyrics. If I make the beat, then I finish the beat, and then as I'm writing, I will edit the beat as I write to match the lyrics about how I want to like emphasize each word, articulate each word depending on the style of the song that I'm going for. And then from there, I'll end up recording, and then I will do the main vocals. I try to do as much as I can in like minimal takes just because um I like doing it like that. It's just like how I work as a creative. I do punch in. I feel like every artist punches in, but I like doing it one take because it shows the more natural side of song recording rather than just being a bot like everyone else and just like doing one bar stop and then one bar stop. But if you can, I feel like it takes more skill to continuously go than just like stop because I don't freestyle. But I do that main vocals and then um put them in the mixer channel and then I do ad libs. And then the ad libs are always the hardest part for me because it's hard for like when I like make songs. Usually the lyrics I have like is stuff that I want people to listen to and hear. So ad libs kind of I feel like overcrowd a little bit, but once I figure them out, I just go and it just works out for the rest of the song. So then I do that, ad libs, and then I edit it, and I spend a lot of time mixing vocals because it takes a lot of time to mix vocals. I have to get it just right, make sure that it sits in the beat well, which is like the most difficult part because if you don't get it right, it's going to be either the beat's louder than the vocals or the vocals are louder than the beat, and then it just sucks. So, yeah, that's pretty much my songwriting process. But I always start with the beat, and then for like writing lyrics specifically, I always try to write them as soon as possible because lyrics will fleet. And I always like writing them outside where I'm like out in nature because it's a different environment and it's just like feeling the energy of everything around you. You can just bring new inspiration. So I always try to write outside or in a place where I haven't been before.
Yeah, so something that kind of struck me with his process compared to other artists I've seen is he has to write everything down before he gets on the mic, which is kind of unique in a sense because for most rappers, like he said, they punch in and they freestyle like straight off the head. With him, is he had to write every line down
Yeah.
and then see how it fits, and then he would record. So
Yeah.
that was just something unique that kind of struck me when I saw him do his process.
Yeah, like I can actually explain that cuz I can freestyle, but when I freestyle, usually it's with me and my friends and we're just goofing off, so I don't take it as serious. But I even like me and Renzi's one of the dudes that lives on my floor. Me make music together. Like we had freestyled a song that we had ended up like just making out of fun, and like it didn't feel as authentic, if like I can put it like that. So the reason I write it out is because I need to like I take it more serious when it's like a song that I'm genuinely working on. So I need to make sure that everything lines up how I want it to. Plus I also just don't freestyle. Like I don't really favor freestyling. I like writing stuff down because I bring my most meaningful vocals out when I do that. Not vocals, my most meaningful lyrics when I write words out. Like I can really like write pure poetry out, but I can't freestyle pure poetry.
Yeah. So, well, I got a question for you now.
All right.
Would you want to do the XXL freshman freestyle then?
Low key, I would be down to because I feel like once I'm at the point where they recognize me for the XXL freshman thing, I'll be at a point where I would be able to freestyle like that off the dome and it like hit the crowd. That's what I want to be able to hit. That's why I don't freestyle because the stuff that I say, like there's bars here and there, but a lot of it is just nonsense. I want to be able to freestyle to the point where like if they hear what I say, they like instantly stank face. Like I want to do is like on some yeah, no, that's because I promise you that's like the reaction that every artist and producer wants. Like when someone hears their beats or hears their song, they just want them to go they want that.
I can relate.
So like to answer your question, yeah, I'd be down for it. I just want to be at a place where if I am there, I'm not up there just saying stuff, and I'm looking like too rare. Like these, like the most recent XO freestyles, like ciphers, they haven't been that good to me at least. But like I want mine to be on par with like 2016, like Denzel and them, and then like Yachty and
The
X.
best year.
Yes, easily the best year, 100%. But yeah, I'd definitely be down for the cipher.
Well, what are your thoughts on like people who like freestyle, where they have a beat and they have pre-written lyrics, but they say it's kind of a freestyle? For example, some artists like On the Radar. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I have.
Those are questionable whether those
Yeah.
are freestyle. Let me rephrase the question. Let's say you were approached by someone and they're like, okay, we have this beat and we want you to come in and do a live rap over it, and they call it a freestyle. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe a freestyle is an actual freestyle where it's off the dome. There's nothing pre-written. I will say, from an artist aspect, there are random lyrics that I have just lying around in my phone and in my journal. So if I freestyle, those may come to light, but I feel like a freestyle is at least the most part of it is like nothing is pre-written. That's a pure freestyle to me. But I say like I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I feel like it's not a freestyle if you have shit written down already, because then it's just lyrics in a notebook or a phone. Like a freestyle has to be something where you had nothing like prior, like this was just out of the blue, and like someone just walked up on you in the middle of the street. Was like, hey, here's a mic. We want you to freestyle. Go. You have to just that's a freestyle right there, 100%. That's like a purely authentic freestyle. But if you have lyrics pre-written, then those are just words on a beat to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Would you do that though?
Like a freestyle on the street.
No. Would you go to like a radio station and they give you the beat beforehand and do it?
I might. It depends on where I'm at in my artistry, to be honest. But I would prefer not to. I would like to be at a place where they can just give me any random beat and I could just start flowing instantly. I feel like I could partly do that now, but it won't be as like mind provoking as I want it to be.
Is there any artists freestyles that you just like love other than the 2016 XXL Freestyle?
Honestly, watching Kenny Beats in the Cave has like brought a lot to light. So like his most recent one, Ski Mask, did a freestyle. Ski Mask and Denzel Curry. I love Denzel Curry. He's like honestly, he might be another one of my inspirations. I might have to sub him in for autumn and summers. Like the way he just goes is just like unrivaled. I've been with him since I've dove in since Imperial. His music is literally just unparalleled. I definitely say his freestyles are probably at least like for me the most inspirational and like my favorites because he manages to like spit bars with hella wordplay and you can tell that it's all authentic. A lot of the freestyles that I hear from artists or like songs in general that I hear from artists is a lot of cap rap. And I can't really say anything about it because I'm guilty of it too, but it's to like fit in to a genre. There's a lot of people that genuinely try to live the way that they rap and I don't like rock with that. But Denzel is different because you could just tell just with everything he says, everything is real. Like his most recent project, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, love that album. It encompassed like everything, like the whole journey he's been through with just dealing with like himself, the like lost relationships, growth as he's like grown through music and just everything. It's just been a crazy thing. But I definitely say if I had one, Denzel, 100%, 100%.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I was gonna ask you this, and I think we talked about it briefly, but if you were to get signed to a label of your choice, which one would you pick?
Okay, first off, I want to say if there are any upcoming artists out there, do not sign to a label while you are young. They're going to snake your shit, okay? Do not sign a 360 deal. You will not get out of it. They're just going to take your money. You're going to lose the rights to your music, all your masters, and you will be left with nothing. You're going to owe them hella money in the end. I want to get that squared. So for me personally, I would never want to sign to a label. Being independent is the way to go because you have control over everything you do. Sure, it takes a hell of a lot more work, and you're gonna need to exercise exploit your resources more. But it's gonna be so worth it because you're gonna own everything. If you sign to a label, they take pretty much everything. So number one, I wouldn't sign to a label. But if I did sign to one, I would have to say, oh, it's hard. I can start with a list of labels I won't sign to be honest with you.
Go.
All right,
Please.
number one is Opium. I can't, bro. There's oh god, like I listen to Cardi and Ken and Lone and all. Like I get called Lone like all the time. That shit's annoying, but like I listen to them. And it's just like I can't rock with them. Like Cardi beats his girl. Bino is a pedophile. What's it called? And I'm pretty sure like the whole label is like either Satanism or something like that. So I gotta stay away from that. So Opium off the list. What's the other one?
Cactus Jack.
Honestly, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to Cactus Jack because they have artists I like. Like they have Travis, they have Fago. I think he's still on there.
The
Don
Fago
Tyler.
situation's a little sticky. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm like hesitant because they wouldn't let him drop, and I don't want. That's another reason I don't want to sign to a label. I want to be able to drop whenever I want. Labels control when you drop. Like the whole thing that's going on with Fago and the label, that's exactly what I want to avoid. So that's like one thing that's holding me back from joining them if I did have that choice. But if that wasn't an issue, then I'd probably join Cactus Jack because I love Fago. Fago is probably honestly right now Fago is probably my biggest inspiration because my songs can't stop sounding like fucking So Fago. Like Step Up is literally a So Fago song.
I was actually recently watching this video, and at one point, Yeet and SoFago were like rivals with each other. They were like pretty much getting the same monthly listeners and such like similar. They're like rivals, basically.
Mm.
And Yeet continued to drop songs and continue to create albums. He had this whole like life scheme where he dropped 3 albums back to back, basically. And SoFago was just in the shadows, like no one knew what was going on. He couldn't drop. And that might be part because he was signed. It might be part to his work ethic. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But you just see like how much farther Yeet has surpassed SoFago. It just like shows you like signing can really like change the trajectory of.
It can. And there are benefits to signing. I won't lie. It's not like labels are all bad. There's definitely benefits. Like they'll give you the money for promo. They'll take care of promo and all that. They'll give you like quality studio time. They can give you, and honestly like the most important part for me, I feel like if I were to sign to a label is the fact that they can give you hella connections, like not just with artists but with other like collectives, labels, agencies, marketers, all that type of stuff. That junk definitely helps a lot. But like what you just said about the difference between Yeet and Fago is exactly why I won't, because although they can give you those positives, the biggest negative is them controlling when you drop your music. I can't deal with that.
All right, so the next question I had was how was your experience working with Truffles on Nocturnal?
I hate Truffles. They suck. I hate. I'm kidding. I love Truffles. It's been I met Luke like on our tour first here at USF. We instantly clicked because we were talking about music. We bonded over music. It literally was set there. He told me about his brand and I was rocking with it. He asked me to make a song for him once we like started attending here and stuff, and I was 100% down. It was a really fun process, to be honest. Like I really enjoyed making the song. Like it didn't feel like a task. It felt just like another day in the stew. And then he had me shoot a music video as well, which is also fun. Coming soon. Oh gosh, you guys are gonna love it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was honestly my relationship with Truffles. I feel like it's a good one. Like I won't be breaking away from them anytime soon. I feel like this is like a good long partnership, 100%.
Good. You had me a little concerned with that first bit.
Yeah, my bad. No, I love Truffles. I'm a lifelong supporter. I will literally like buy your entire stock once I get the money. Like, I promise.
Thank you, bro.
Of course.
On a different note, what challenges have you faced in the music industry?
I feel like every person, whether you're an artist or producer, experiences this challenge in the industry, but the biggest one is really just recognition and consistency. And one will come with the other. If you're consistent, you will get recognition. But if you like aren't consistent, you won't get that recognition. And it's hard building that consistency, especially in my state being A freshman in college that's majoring in electrical engineering with a whole lot of like, because engineering is not a it's not an easy major. If you guys ever choose to do a major, think twice about engineering, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
And physics.
Yep. Oh shit. Yeah. And physics. Oh God, God, bro. It pays well, but you gonna have to work your ass off for 4 years. But
True that.
I'd probably say the biggest challenge is recognition and just trying to show people why they should come listen to your music. I feel like the biggest part about being an artist or producer is you have to show the audience or the world why your music is better than like Travis, or why people should come to you instead of going to Big Scar or V's or like any of these other artists. And I feel like once you can do that, then you will build your recognition.
This is so applicable to like every craft ever.
Literally.
Like I'm listening in and thinking about Truffles as it like why people need to come by
Yeah.
Truffles, or there's like artists or whatever they draw. They need to understand why should they buy my art over someone else's, and
Exactly.
that's a very important point. Like I
Exactly.
really agree with what you just said.
Yeah. It's like the boiling point. Ever since I forgot, I'm pretty sure I heard it on TikTok. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it was like it really stuck with me. Like those words I was like, okay, yeah. No, it was a YouTube video actually, because I was trying to watch like learn. That's another thing. As an artist or whatever you're like, if you're a like upcoming clothing brand or if, like an entrepreneur, basically, it's like self educate yourself as much as possible. That will it's your biggest friend, because like so for me, right? Because I'm an artist and in this digital age, I have to know how to market myself on social media. I'm not gonna lie, I was going through it in engineering. I was debating switching majors. I was going to switch to marketing. I talked with some people, and what's it called? The stuff that they learned, like they were actual marketing majors. Like they have like a degree in marketing. The stuff that they learned, they told me that the stuff that they had learned in like school, the 4 years of education, damn near did nothing compared to going on YouTube and asking like, hey, how do I like read these analytics correctly, or how do I follow these trends and stay on top, or like what are the like something as simple as what are the best times to post. They're not going to teach you that at like an institution and stuff. So like educating yourself and knowing the knowledge yourself is going to make you the biggest weapon possible, because you're not going to owe anything to anybody, and you're going to have all this knowledge and wisdom and like in your brain just ready to be out and used by you and by other people. I also feel like if you do know stuff, you don't have an obligation to, but I can't get behind artists that have knowledge of certain things and then gatekeep and not like want other artists to grow. Like for me, whenever I find out something about marketing or like another way, like a trend that's happening, I make sure to tell my artist peeps, or I try to at least, and be like, hey, this shit going on, might want to hop on so you can, like so we can all go up. I feel like because we're all at the end of the day, we're all like not at the bottom per se, but we're not at the top. We're all at the same plane. We're all trying to grow. We're all trying to grow. So let's try to grow together. I feel like that's like the best curse. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot what the question was. I started rambling. I'm so sorry.
No, it was good. I mean, I honestly forgot. I forgot what the question was.
Yeah, but
It's not important, but what you're saying is very very true.
Oh yeah, boiling down to just like showing people why they should come to you instead of that's what it was.
Yeah.
That stuck with me because it's the like most foundational piece out of like everything. Whether you're doing some like if you're an entrepreneur, you need to know the answer to that question. And it's okay if you don't have that answer now. It's just a question that needs to be answered. You have to know, why should people come listen to Blackout instead of listening to Don Toliver or Sofego or the Migos? Why should people rock Truffles instead of rocking, Nikes or Euphoric or like all these other underground clothing brands? Like, what makes you different? Like, how can you express your differences?
Yeah, adding on to that question, how do you market yourself? What are your main ways?
I mainly use Instagram and TikTok. Because in this age, short form content is the best way to go about like promotion and getting yourself out there. What I do is I set up times. I've just got back to doing it because I'm at a place where I can record and I have that time now. I set up times where I will like set out a video, like time to record a video. And for me, because I try to incorporate, like I try to make myself authentic online. So me, I'm a naturally funny person, so I always try to like throw some humor into my videos as well. So I record that, and then I record like two or three different angles of me lip syncing to whatever song I'm promoting. And that can be whether I record, whether it's in my dorm. I usually record in my dorm now, but it can be in my dorm, whether it's outside in my driveway, wherever it is. Um, and then I have to edit it, and then I edit it, compile it, excuse me, and then I put it on Instagram, and then I don't exactly post. I have to wait for the time because for promotion, for like, because the Instagram algorithm does not work like the TikTok algorithm does. But there are set points in time where, depending on how big your audience is, not audience, your following on each of these platforms, there's a point in time where it will peak during that day, and that's kind of the time that you want to aim for. Actually, no, you want to aim for a little bit of for my fault, I misspoke, because you want to you don't want to do it like, let's say like over the course of, I have like 1,300 followers on Instagram. Over the course of Sunday, it like at 3 p.m. it peaks at like 560 people. That's how many people will most likely see my post. I would rather post a couple hours beforehand or maybe an hour beforehand, because in addition to those people, it will also expose my post to a newer audience and people that haven't seen my stuff or don't know who I am yet. That's another thing that's important to getting yourself out there. Hashtags is 100% the way, because it'll expose you to um it helps narrow down your niche, and you can figure out, it makes you think about what exactly people need to, like what type of people need to see your brand. So like for my one song Step Up that I had dropped, the hashtags that I had used, Sofego obviously, because it's heavily inspired by him, but also like underground artists. So I would use hashtags like underground sound, underground artists, upcoming artists, and then like sound like artists that related to the song as well, like Sofego, Yeet. I'm pretty sure I threw my name in there too, so that once people like see this name repeatedly, they're like, oh yeah, I recognize this name. That's Blackout. I've heard his stuff before. And then that's how you build yourself as an artist. It's just really just consistency with promotion, and just just staying on top of yourself. Like, you have to have discipline. If you don't have discipline, then you're not gonna grow. But that's just for Instagram. TikTok, I mainly do the same thing. I will say with TikTok, it is easier to market myself because of the different ways you can post on TikTok. With Instagram, it's just videos, and when you can post pictures too. But with TikTok, it's videos and then the slideshows. And those, I've also seen other people on like TikTok, like other artists, they would promote their ways using those slideshows as well. So yeah, that's probably the main way I do it. I make videos, and I will like promote that song and using my own like authentic humor. But I will also just like simple posts. Like for Step Up, I remember I did a post on TikTok. It was a slash. It was like three pictures. It was like, if you're a fan of I think it was like Sofego, SSG Kobe, Tana, I have a song for you. And then the song was playing in the background. You just keep scrolling, and then reads the lyrics, and then there's a song title. And then I recognized that it worked because people were in the comments talking about how the song was hard, and they didn't even realize that it was me, that like like they have never seen me before. But it's the fact that they heard the song, it sounded so good to them that they didn't even realize that it was self promo. So that's kind of like,
It's a good method. I might take that.
yeah,
I'm gonna be like,
hey, do
"You're
it,
a fan
bro.
of these brands."
Of course, like, hey, dog, like, do whatever. I feel like you should just do whatever works. Like, if you have, that's why I'm so open about it, because I have knowledge. I like to use. I feel like if I have the knowledge, there's no reason I should keep that shit to myself. Like, we all trying to grow. But yeah, definitely use that method. It definitely works, because not only does it help put yourself out there, but it helps you find exactly who your target audience is. So, like, for me, it's different, because with each song, I have to switch it up a little bit, because not all my songs are the same. But just using that method of finding brands, like for your example, like finding brands that are similar to Truffles or whatever collection that you're going to be dropping will help you find your audience. It will make it easier and then bring like your brand to them. So that's really, yeah, that's pretty much how I promote myself online.
I see like for some reason I see like a huge similarity between fashion and like making music. It's like each piece of clothing could be considered like a song, and then
Mhm.
each like
Collection is
the
like
collection is an
an
album or
album,
something
yeah.
along the sorts. So there are some similarities, and you can definitely use marketing methods across disciplines. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely. Another thing to add on is making as many connections as possible. You can never go wrong with having too many connections. I feel like that's the number one way to go up, and maintaining them in a way where it's not strictly business, but it's like a personal thing. So that, like, for example, there's been so many artists in the underground that have blown up just from like having connections. I forgot the specifics off my head, but there's just so many that I've just like not read, like watched interviews of, and they will talk about, oh yeah, me and him made we were like collabing on songs way back then, like 2019, 2020, shit like that. And then now you see like Tana and everything. He's blown up. Cash Down, I don't know where Cash Down is. No one cares about that man. But
what?
no, cause like whenever I think of Tana, I think of Cash Dami and Baby Santana the same because I found out about them at the same time, and it was when Cash Dami was blowing up. But that man fell off so hard. Ugh. But it's like just my whole point is like having those connections and maintaining them for as long as possible and like as early as possible is the way to go. And that goes for anything, whether it's music or fashion, even like business connections as well, like working a job, a regular 9 to 5, just having connections in general is just a really good thing to have. So I'm making those.
Another question I had was, do you ever get creative roadblocks, and then
Oh
how do you get over those? Because
yeah.
that's something I faced. That's something I'm sure every single person watching this has faced.
Yeah.
So.
I definitely have gotten beat block and writer's block. It's been so many times. But honestly, there are some days where I just can't shake it, and I just have to deal with the fact that, all right, I won't be able to be creative today, and just have to accept it and be like, that's okay, because it's going to be here tomorrow. It's going to be in the future. The times where I can shake it, I try to switch on my environment. So usually when cuz I obviously make music in my room cuz that's where my studio is. If I'm having B block, I will go on a walk or just be outside and just sit in the sun, because for me personally, sunbathing is like the sun recharges me pretty much. So just being outside and being in nature and feeling the energy of nature around me is like being outside just helps with my inspiration and gives me new things to think about. That's why also like what I said earlier about writing outside, that's why I like to write outside, because it's stuff that if you're cooped up in like an 8 by 8 foot room up on the 8th floor writing stuff, it's like limiting because there's only so much you can see in that little square of room. But if you're outside where literally the sky is the fucking limit, then there's nothing that you can't write about. Like whether I'm sitting in Welchfield or if I'm all the way down in the Panhandle or at Golden Gate Park, the Conservatory of Flowers, it really doesn't matter. Like Hippie Hill, it doesn't matter where I'm at. Like as long as I'm outside, the simple fact that I'm outside is enough for me to like spark some inspiration. Be like, hey, let me write about this tree, or hey, I'm gonna write about how the leaves, the petals on this flower are different from each other. About how there's 5 on this one, but there's 7 or 8 on this one. Like there's just something that you can write about, and you can branch off for anything. So yeah, that's probably my best way. Like just being outside, like definitely helps with my creativity a lot.
All right, so I want to talk about future plans and future stuff. So one question I had is, where do you see yourself in 1 year, and then where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, is there like a festival that you dream of doing? Is there music you dream of making, or a collab you dream of doing?
Um, the idea just sparked for me today. I have a album that I want to drop next year if everything pans out the way I want it to and my fan base grows enough. Um,
Is there a name in mind?
a flower for you,
Okay.
and the concept is about how the difference in growth between past me and then current, or whenever I drop the album, like that me, like the me from that album compared to like me now or me in the past. In 1 year, I want to see myself doing small time shows. Now, I don't have to be known yet, but just the fact that I'm out and performing is honestly enough for me, because performance is a big step from sitting in my studio and recording, because I don't perform at all. I performed one song one time because I have major stage fright, but I love performing.
You have stage fright?
I do.
And you're a rapper.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. But yeah. Like, I remember I took a public speaking class, which definitely helped so much. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, it did. It helped a lot.
I need to take
You
one.
definitely.
I have slight stage fright.
Yeah, I have stage fright. Like, I remember it was my friend in my old school. He was having a what's it called, a homecoming after party, and a fan favorite in my discography is Changes, and they wanted me to perform Changes. For an hour and a half straight, they were trying to convince me to perform that song. And I was like, bro, please, no. And I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. And for like 10 minutes, I'm just sitting there pacing back and forth. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, no way, I'm really about to do this. But it's different. It sucks because I have stage fright. Like, it's literally just the anticipation aspect before. Because once I'm up there performing, the energy is completely different. Not everybody knew me, knew the song, but I had the crowd jumping. There is video footage out there somewhere. Michael, if you're watching this shit, I appreciate you for sending me that video.
Text me that?
I will. If it's on my phone, I got you 100%. It's like a 15-second video, but it's like I have the.
Throw that up.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah. Put the clip in.
Blxkout limited performance tonight only, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, so performance is definitely a big part. It's a big step. So 1 year, I feel like I can see myself performing as long as I can stay disciplined and be consistent with my drops. Like, my plan before I came to Cali was that I was going to do 2 songs a month, like 2 singles a month, and just roll out like that. That didn't end up happening until you got my shit on track. I gotta give big props to you because you really made me get my shit together. I'm not gonna lie. Like, with the whole the collection dropping on the 26th, and he wants me to drop the song on, can I say the drop date?
Yeah.
The 24th. So 2 days before the collection releases. And I was like, okay. When you first had told me the date, I was like, all right, so that means I have to drop, because I wanted to drop for show before I dropped that song. So I'm like, okay.
The show sounds so good. I have to tell you before. It sounds so
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited to drop it. It's been sitting in my Google Drive for months, but yeah,
I'm just imagining what else is sitting there.
Oh man, there's so many songs that the public will never hear because that shit is not dropping.
I've heard them.
He has.
I want to make that make you feel like FOMO for 1 second.
Y'all will hear like a couple of them, because there's one that is probably going to be on A Flower for You. As there's one that I just thought of today that's going to be on there. But as far as the other ones, that's all you. That's all you. But yeah, my whole point, he got me on track. So for show drops the 10th of November. And
where can they find that?
Yeah. Spotify, Apple Music. If you go to It's Blackout, X instead of A, obviously, so Blxkout on Instagram. Click the link in my bio. You're gonna find it right there. Be perfect.
Pre-save it.
Pre-save.
Pre-save.
Of course. The W pro. But yeah, he got me on track. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Just being, as long as I can stay disciplined and consistent with the plan that I have, then I feel like in 1 year I can for sure see myself performing. I don't have to be known. That being known is perfectly fine with me. The fact that I'm out and expressing myself is enough, which I feel like is the biggest part for an artist. Putting your music out there is the number one thing that you can do, because a lot of artists, like Renzi, for example, he's made so many songs. He's only put out 1 song. He ended up dropping it, and the biggest part I feel like for artists is just putting music out. If you putting music out is enough. That's the scariest step for artists, I feel like, and I don't really understand that, because I mean, I understand. For me personally, I'm a perfectionist almost. So when I want to put a song out, I make sure that shit is mixed to a T. I don't want any peaking, no S's sounding too sharp. It can't be too vibrant. Like, there's just no boxiness, nothing. If it doesn't sit in the beat right, I'm redoing the entire master, like everything. But like, aside from that, it comes from a dormant sense of self-consciousness, I feel like, because I remember when I was first starting out, I didn't want to drop songs because I thought about how other people would think of them. But as you go through music, and this is really applicable to anything that you're trying to start up, because I feel like this can also apply to fashion. Like, you're going to be self-conscious about if people are going to like the stuff that you're putting on your brand, whether it's symbols, wording, icons, anything. It's like, you're going to think about how are people going to like this, like, if they're going to like it. But if you don't put it out at all, you're never going to find the answer to that question. So I feel like the number one thing you can do, whether you're an artist or clothing brand or whatever you're doing, is just putting your stuff out there and being okay with if it's a negative response, because
That's very important too.
yeah, like, being able to take criticism is a very, very important aspect of being an entrepreneur. Like, if it's, because you're not always going to get positives. Like, I put out, me personally, I've had one song where people were shaky. I have an almost flawless
What's it called?
discography. No regrets. I'm not gonna lie. It's not even like it's a bad song. It's just the fact that I rushed it because there was a date that I was trying to meet, and I rushed the quality, and I don't rock with it because of that. But like, for me, like, it's not even on a cocky sense. It's just the fact that every song I've put out, people have liked. But I have never been shunned. I've never been close to the fact that one day I'm going to experience showing this song to a person and be like, I don't know if that's the move. And it's just going to be like, okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Because not everyone's going to rock with your stuff. And that's just something that you're going to have to accept. Like, not everyone's going to like it. Not everyone's going to like your songs. Not everyone's going to like your hoodies or your duffels. Not everyone's going to like the beanies that you're making. It really just depends, like, on the person.
There's one, like, case I was thinking of is Lil Yachty's album, The Alchemist. Or not The Alchemist. What is it? Let's Start Here.
Yeah.
That was, like, very extreme.
It was.
When people first listened to it, they're like,
they
"Lil
were
Yachty,
so
what are you doing?
confused.
Like,
I
what are you
remember.
doing?" And then that's, like, something I really want to start applying. Just, like, or at least just have one collection where it's, like, super extreme and have people just, like, hate it.
Yeah.
Just to, like,
No, I feel that.
because right now I feel like I'm comfortable. Like, people like my stuff. People like your songs. People like my clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want people to understand, like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't. And maybe it's because, like, the pressure. Like, I just want to have, like, see what it feels like to drop a collection and do terrible. Like, not get big sales or
like,
whatever.
be humbled and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just so I can relieve myself of the fear of that happening to me, if that makes sense.
I feel I 100% like understand that. I feel like you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, that's really what it boils down to.
I even liked Lil Yachty's that album, but, like,
I did.
it's so unique, and I want to do that kind of with a collection coming up.
I feel that. Hey, and because you're independent, and that's what I'm saying, don't sign to no fucking label.
I'm not signing.
I know.
What can I sign to?
No, I'm saying, like, from an artist standpoint, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're saying that you want to do something like Yachty. You are 100% within your creative rights to do that. If you sign to a label, they were going to take that away if it's not following whatever trend that they want.
There's actually something I wanted to address. There's this company called LVMH, and they have a bunch of clothing brands signed to them, so Louis Vuitton, but they also have, like, every single designer brand you can think of, like Dior, and then they also have champagne companies and cologne companies or whatever, but, like, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Prada, etc. They're all signed to this company, and I was, like, considering, like, if I got signed to this company, would my control be taken away? And this is a big if, because this is the biggest company in the, like, this guy's probably third richest person in the world.
Yeah.
The owner of that. So, like, even if I got approached to that, I would have to sit back, see how much control I'd be taken away. But the pro side, like you said, would be the connections. Like, having these connections to these huge brands and having accessibility to that marketing that they're able to do, because these brands literally have the best marketing
in
the world.
They have the most resources at their disposal.
So they're actually, you could get signed as a clothing brand.
You could, 100%.
So I do see that. And I would actually consider it, but I would need to look at my
Of course, yeah.
creative
You would have to
control.
break it down to the smallest T, because you don't want to, you want to still have the rights to your stuff. You don't want, like, if Louis V were to approach you right now and be like, "Hey, we want to sign you," but they were gonna take, like, make you switch your symbol, like the Truffles logo, you would say no, obviously, 100%. So it's like decisions like that, like you have to negotiate and everything, like decisions and stuff like that makes you like have to question whether or not it's worth joining, because the pros can really seem enticing, and that's how they get you, because they don't tell you the negatives. They tell you, they open with the pros, throw like one or two negatives in, and be like, oh well, one or two negatives compared to, the 5 or 6 like positive things that we're giving you.
And then you flip through the contract. You're so excited to get the pros, and then you
Right.
just sign away like.
Exactly.
all
You literally
control.
will sign your life away, and it's so bad. But yeah, damn, what the hell was the question?
What were we on?
How do we-
Oh, your 5-year goal. We were talking about his goals for 5 years.
How did we get here,
We're
bro?
talking about signing our life away.
But yeah, oh yeah, I remember. So for 1 year performing,
Yes.
it doesn't even have to be big. I can even perform at the Lyricist Lounge here. That is enough for me. Just the
That'd be
fact.
awesome. You could do that like right now. if
I
you
know
wanted
I have to wait for the next one though. The last
Okay.
one was Friday, so I think they're gonna have some like next semester. So I plan to go to those, because if not a song, there's a poem that I want to perform, and I feel like just expressing myself and getting it out there will help break down my stage fright and up my performance like once more. So 1 year performance.
Second performance in the books.
Yeah,
Coming soon. Coming soon.
coming soon. So 1 year performing, not even at big shows, just performing in general. 5 years, I will be 23. Ideally, I would want to be at least 100K monthly listeners, and making collabs with not super big artists, but people you know the names of. Like, I don't know if it's a label or collective. I'm gonna call it collective. Yachty's Collective Concrete Boys, where it's him,
Oh yeah, he has
Draft Day.
he has a bunch of people that.
Yeah,
Are
like if I had a
unsigned.
collaboration with Camo, or the first dude that was in the On the Radar freestyle, I would 100% be fine for that, because I honestly loved his freestyle. It was amazing. But like just collabing with artists that aren't super big but have status. I feel like those, like, they don't have to be mainstream, but if you hear the name, they'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Like if I had a collab with Autumn, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with that. Or like someone even lower than that, like Tana, or something like the most basic. It just, the fact that I'm collabing with someone that has somewhat of status, that can match me kind of and can carry me a little bit, I can see myself doing that in 5 years. I feel like.
If I'm gonna be honest with you, I think your goals are slightly lower than what I expected. I feel
Really?
like you're gonna be like like if you continue in this trajectory, you could shoot for like 1 million monthly listeners and collabing
I
with
could.
like, you know,
And honestly, now that I think about it,
Drake or something. Like
5
that.
years is a long time, but there have also been cases where there's artists going on, they've been consistent straight for 10 plus years, and they're still not even at 100K.
True.
So I feel like just thinking from a realistic standpoint just makes it. I feel like that's where I could see myself at least. I didn't limit myself to 100K. I said at least
Oh,
100K. At least 100K.
And then there's also these cases where people become viral from nowhere and then they fall off.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not the approach you want to take, but there are approaches where it's like, what do you think your approach could be? Like a happy medium between going very slow and having a super steady increase, or like instant virality? How would you see your approach to this?
With the type of music I make, I don't think I see it going viral. So the slow and steady increase is probably the surefire way. And with the path and the way I want to execute things, I feel like that would be the best way, because I feel like me doing 2 songs a month, that's 24 songs in a year. That's a lot of fucking music if you really think about it. That's a lot of time put into that. So I feel like that is, and it's also more authentic growth wise. But that being said, I wouldn't be opposed to getting a viral song. I feel like if I did get a viral song, I would be able to like carry that momentum onto the next and then have that boost. Like right now I'm at 175. If I went viral like tonight and I woke up to like 50K monthly listeners, I will drop for show and gain another 10K. That's how confident I am that I will be able to carry that. So if I had to say one, I'd probably say the first one. Like growing gradually is probably more not only realistic but my preferred method because I feel like a artist that just blow up and go viral off of one song, like you said, fall off really fast because they can't carry that momentum. They just ride that wave. So I feel like growing the first way is definitely going to be better because it's going to establish a sturdier foundation as an artist. Like there's going to be more, like those are people that have been with you since like damn near not day one, but early days. They've seen you drop 2 songs a month for like 2 years straight versus the people that know you from a 15-second snippet on TikTok that got 1 million views. Like that's not really an authentic fan base to me if like I'm going off of that. But the people that have like just a slow growth, I feel like that's the way to go. So I'd probably go with that one.
All right, so I have one last question for you, and it's
Okay.
what advice do you have for someone that wants to get into rapping or looks up to you and wants to, create this rap? Let me rephrase that.
No, I do.
What advice would you give someone that wanted to become a rapper?
First off, if you're looking up to me, I appreciate it a lot. It means a big deal that there's people out there that look at my music and think I want to not live like him, but he inspires me. That's a big step that I feel like a lot. Not a big step. That's a big thing that I feel like some artists don't appreciate as much as they should. Because inspiring, not in even a generation, inspiring a single person takes a great deal, depending on that person. But just the simple inspiration alone is enough. So if I am inspiring you, I love y'all. But if I had to give any advice, don't put out trash. Number one, do not put out trash music. Make sure, and that's not like saying like like calling you guys bad. Make sure that your music is quality. I'm talking, and it doesn't have to be like studio grade, like the whole room is treated with acoustic panels type junk. Don't record on Apple earbuds in a like high school stairwell where there's hella echoes, no mixing, when you're just mumbling on the beat like, oh yeah, got 100 racks in my safe. Like that. No.
That's hard.
Yeah. Yep, that's going to the next song, 100%. But I'm saying like if you're gonna make music, put passion into it. That's a lot of things that's one thing I feel like a lot of artists lack nowadays, putting passion into their music. A lot of them just say that, no, not random, the same stuff, and there's really no energy. Like the words feel hollow, if like I can say it like that. So number one,
That's crazy. Words feel hollow.
it just feels shallow. That's the best way I can explain it. Like it's not authentic. There's no emotion behind the words. Like you can be screaming in the mic, but I'm not hearing it. That sounds
deep. That's deep.
That's all I have to say. So number one, quality music. Make sure you're putting some passion into yourself. And I understand like not everyone, like for my second point, not everyone has I won't say privilege, the opportunities like I had to get the equipment that I do. So my second was going to be get good equipment, record with good stuff. I understand people don't have that. BandLab is perfectly fine. There are presets that you can use that will get you at a good manageable place on BandLab. You just have to figure out how to navigate. But my second one is definitely going to be get good equipment. Get an XLR mic. Get an XLR mic. Do not get a USB mic. Get an XLR. And an audio interface. It's gonna help you with gain and everything. Give you more control. The one thing that you don't want to lose as an artist is control. Whether it's with a label, something like big, like label, or small. Something as simple as changing the volume. You don't want to lose any control. So, audio interface, XLR mic, studio grade headphones. I'm not talking crazy, like $700, but you're not gonna buy $30. You're not going to spend $30 on headphones and expect your music to come out well. The headphones I started off with, Audio Technica, they were $50. The MTH 50X, I believe that's what it was. Those are good for starting off. After that, you can branch off and find any other headphones you want. There's open back and closed back. Open back will allow air to seep into the headphones so you can hear the surroundings around you. Closed back is better for recording because it keeps everything in your ears so no sound leaks out. Open back is better for mixing. So, for my preference, my headphones are personally closed back just because I like the feeling of the noise cancellation and isolation because it helps me record and mix better because I can't hear everything outside. But yeah, my number 2, get good equipment once you can. If you can't right now, that's okay. Just stick with step number 1 and make good quality music. My third and probably most important tip, research everything about music. From what to record on, to how to record, to what type of beats. First off, if you're making music, I'm assuming that you have like some type of inspiration. So let's say for me, I'm inspired heavily. Matter of fact, yeah, let's use an anecdote. I'm inspired by Solfego. So for me, I would want to figure out matter of fact, bonus tip, don't be a clone. Please don't be a fucking clone. Make your own sound. Like don't be lame because there's no way you're going to blow up and expect to maintain your career if you're copying someone else's style. Like if I wanted to be like Solfego, there's already a Solfego. So why would like on the point that I made earlier about showing people why they should come listen to me instead of another person? Why are they gonna come listen to a mini Solfego when real Solfego exists? That's not gonna make sense. So don't be a clone. Make your own sound, and that might include just having to go through and make some trash songs. That's okay. Because it all boils down to experimentation. You're experimenting, figuring out what you can and can't do with your voice, what you can and can't do on certain beats, what type of beats you like, what type of presets you like, how you want your voice to sound, EQs, effects, all that type of stuff. Experiment as much as you can and figure out what you like and show how to make yourself different. But that was like my little my note. My third one, research. Research. I mean research everything. Like how to mix. Research how to mix. You can make an excellent song. A bad mix will put your shit in the gutter. So research how to mix. If you can't find a way how to mix, find someone to mix for you. And that might cost money. Hopefully you guys have some friends that know how to make music. If not, my DMs are open. I'll mix for a low fee of like $15 in a honey bun. I don't know. I'm hungry right now, so that's why I said honey bun. But yeah, if I had to give 3, quality music. Make sure you're putting out quality music. You don't want to be that's another thing. Actually, I'm going to expand on that a little bit. For quality, you don't want to over release. When I say that, I mean putting out a bunch of songs that all sound trash. Because putting yourself out there is good, but if it's not quality music, there's no point cuz no one's going to listen to it. I would much rather put out one song every 3 months that's quality than put out 10 songs every 3 months that are bad that people won't listen to. Because at least those people that are listening to that one quality song are going to keep listening to it. You will get 1 stream for each 10 of those. You'll be stuck at 10 streams. But for that one song that I posted at the beginning of that 3 months, that's going to keep building and building and building. And then that's going to get shared. And then that's like going to get shared by other people. So it just creates everything. So quality music. Do not over-release bad music. Take your time with your mixing, with your recording, whatever your process is. Release quality music. That's number 1. Number 2, damn, I already forgot. Number 2, get good equipment. And if you can't, that's okay. Apple headphones and research bandlab presets. So number 2, get good equipment if you can. And if you can't, make do. Number 3, research everything. Honestly, switch it. Throw 3 at 1. Research everything. That's the number 1. I'm not going to lie. That's the most important. Not knowing, because you don't want to go into a field that you're new to and that you don't know anything about. Like, that's like, I can't come up with an analogy, but it's just not a good idea.
It's important.
Yeah, it's definitely important. But yeah, if I had to give, I'm going to limit myself to 3. I'll probably have to give those 3.
All right, so that's basically it.
Be yourself.
Okay.
Please be yourself.
That's a great place.
100%. Like it's yeah. Like it's such a simple phrase, but it's so powerful, especially in this day and age where everyone's trying to clone each other and everyone wants to be like put on this front and persona to be something that they're not. Don't do that. I promise you, it's going to end worse. I can't speak from personal experience, but just the stuff that I've seen, it's just 100% better to be yourself, because then you don't have to like flip that switch on and off. Like, hey, I'm going to be this hard dude on the mic. But then once the mic is off, I'm some softy that goes and listens to fucking like Lana Del Rey and shit. No hate to Lana Del Rey though, because Lana is tough. I like Lana. But like I'm just saying, like, you don't want to put on a front and then have to switch that on and off, because it gets tiring after some point. You should just be real from the jump, and I promise you, you will grow more authentically, because when you show people the real you, not everyone's going to stick around for the real you. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep it a buck, 150. Not everyone's going to stick around. There are going to be some people that leave you for the real you. But the ones that stick around are going to be the ones that stick around forever. And then as you continue to be the real you, and you grow with your music and continue to keep putting stuff out, keep putting out the real you in your music, you're going to grow more real, authentic fans. Not fans that like you for that hard ghetto front that you put on, but fans that like you for your core beliefs, the message that you're putting on your music, everything about you. So if I had to sum it all up, be real, be yourself. Do not be a fake. Don't put on a front. Don't try to be like anyone else. Be who you are from the jump. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
All right. That
That's
was
what I'll
awesome.
leave it.
All right. That's basically it for this episode 2.
Dude.
Big shout out to Blxkout for coming here to
My
record
pleasure.
this. Yeah.
Shoot. Hey, November 26th, y'all better mark your calendars. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hyped. Y'all better be hyped. Like, I'm waiting. I want my hoodie now. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm excited. So yeah, I guess I'll let him close out. You know, it is his podcast, but I appreciate you having me on the podcast. It means a lot.
All right. Subscribe. Bye.
Yep. Subscribe. Bye. Of course. No problem. It was so fun. I haven't done a
That was
podcast
good,
before.
bro. Oh my goodness, you spit. How long was it?